You want to save time because AI is the way. It is insane what AI can do.
A skyrocket. I'll say like 9% will say yes.
$10,000 goes straight into your bank account.
That's an awesome package right there.
Today, we're going to be talking about pricing models and how to price your offer appropriately, right? So I'm going to be discussing a little bit more about models and pricing models because there is all this, we talked about offers, we talked about niches, we talked about how do we make a $100 million offer, but if we don't know how to deliver that offer, it's a bit pointless. Who agrees? And who's had it before? Who's had a client say, oh, I've been over-promised and under-delivered. The person that sold them said they were going to get a lot, but in actuality, they didn't get a lot, or they didn't utilize the services to its full potential. And Casey, I'm very glad that you're going into marketing yourself and you sign up to these courses to learn high level yourself, because a lot of, at least the med spa clients that we worked with, they transition into sort of figuring out themselves, doing it themselves, bringing it in-house, because I don't know if you've worked with agencies before and been burned.
We've talked to several agencies and we've signed with one, and lots of promise, hey, we'll get you 30 new leads in 30 days, or and the price was really astronomical. So we're still a pretty new business, and I'm sure that they would be great. However, they were servicing all the industries, so we're kind of a specialized niche, so it's a little harder to really pinpoint our customers, our ideal base, when you're not used to this industry. I mean, we're looking for people with disposable income that wants to live longer and healthier, and so it's not just a random populace.
I hear you. And for anyone that's marketing out here, there's a huge migration shift that's occurring where businesses and local businesses are starting to realize that this thing that we call our own software isn't our own software, even though we slap a logo on it. It's high level. So why can't business owners like Casey just do it themselves, figure out themselves, and implement it? Anyone know?
They don't have the time.
Exactly.
And they got into their business for their passion and for what they want to do, services. So why do it when you can outsource it?
Exactly. So, and that comes with going back to the offers that we make. You need to not only be better than them doing it themselves and signing up to high level for $97 a month, but you need to be better than everyone else trying to get them to sign up with them and not disappoint. So figuring out how you're going to deliver is crucial. Like it's just like your product, how good your product is the determinant about how many referrals you can get, how many reviews you can get, and ultimately how many repeat purchases you can get. Getting the client is the easy part. It's keeping them around and making sure they're happy and making sure that they're getting delivered consistent value, which is why we do these calls. So to begin with, I'm going to be talking about the beginner, intermediate, and sort of final boss level ways in which you can deliver GoHighLevel as a valuable service. And just to begin with, I'm going to talk about the 13 most profitable high-level features that I've observed over my time. I say like I'm old, over my time running this thing. And to begin with, it sort of goes back into what GoHighLevel is. So it's a CRM, it's a customer relationship management tool. It does the capturing, it does the nurturing, and it does the closing. So split into those three stages, plus an additional phase, which is the repeat purchases. So for those that aren't aware, awareness is the first step. So this is where a lot of web design, branding, creative agencies, you can sort of bring attention to your clients as a business. These are sort of the ways in which you can offer your service. There's the nurturing, so lead nurturing, the SMS, the email nurture sequences. Even would you consider SEO as a mainly nurturing relationship service, or would you call it a more awareness based? Probably awareness, right? I've toyed with that because it's like they're already searching it up. And then we have obviously the turning those leads into revenue. So this is probably the most valuable stage. If you can link your services directly to this, you can charge a lot, right? And this is where appointments or leads, they turn into money, the exchange of money for goods or services. And then there's one final bit, which isn't mentioned as much, but as crucial and as important as the rest, is increasing customer lifetime value. So getting them in and getting them back in again and again and again. For KC services, for a local business, it would be either a repeat purchase of them coming in for a second treatment of Botox, or here's a package, you get them over a series of periods, a series of time, or it could be a membership service that you can implement as well. So 13 steps, or the 13 most profitable features that I found: the tool itself, the lead generation and management features, the pipelines, right? Please use pipelines. The marketing automations that come with it, the appointment scheduling, so the calendar, it's for Casey because I've worked with our service. The high-level calendar sometimes doesn't integrate with your own booking systems and your own CRM systems. So what we did, we used it as a way in which for prospects, leads, to book in a 15-minute phone call with a receptionist to then convert into a demo call or a booked appointment or a sales call. That's how we do it. Templates, like specifically Facebook ad templates that you can get on the ads manager. You can use the funnels, you can use the websites as templates as well. User interface, this is mainly specifically the phone, the app. If you guys aren't giving your apps to your clients, that's like something you can do today. Casey, do you have the app? Reporting, super important, SMS marketing, database reactivation, Facebook ads, and then call tracking and recordings. This is probably less well known, but if you can, I remember discussing it with a web design business. She was doing like $500,000 and $500,000 a month, and she was switching from whatever services she was doing to GoHighLevel because her clients couldn't see how much her websites were performing for them, like the actual leads that were opting in, the call recordings. She was obsessed over that. So treat this as a really powerful tool that you can implement within GoHighLevel and mention to your clients. Beginner delivery models. Now, beginner, but it's still difficult. Don't get this wrong. Like it's simpler, but it's still difficult to implement, right? With this model, you provide a subscription-based software product to solve a specific problem, but you also have a high-ticket add-on at the start to, pay your team, pay yourself, do the setup, right, to get everything up and running, and then you can let people run with it after a 30 to 90-day period. Is that accurate? Nice.
We're going to keep them in that for 6 months.
Nice.
This particular client is going to require that much hand holding.
Yeah, exactly that. And the idea here is after you've had that sort of incubation period, you want to hand it off to either a customer success agent or a third-party support team that can handle it for you. Next, SMMA, and it's a classic. Like especially this is what I started with, right? So I started with the SMMA, transition into the AI agency side of things, and then I did AI. I did a merge of different products and services, but that was a mistake because then everyone was on a different price and a different service delivery. So my recommendation for this, and if I could go back in time and fix it, start with one price. Start one, and by one price you can flip around the pricing. Used to do pay in fulls. So I don't know if who here knows what Klarna and Afterpay is? Yeah, Klarna and Afterpay, depending on how good the credit is of the client. If you have a monthly service, instead of saying, hey, it's going to be $2,000, you could have it at a, hey, it's for 6 months to work with us. It's what's 2 times 6, 12? It's 10K. One time, you can pay 10K one time, or you can break it up over a 6-month period. What would you prefer? Right. And then instead of saying, cool, here's the monthly plan, you can have them go through Klarna and see if they qualify to break up the payment over a 6 to 12 to 24 month period. Because if they do, $10,000 goes straight into your bank account. Meaning, because you're an ads expert, you can invest that money straight back into your own acquisition methods. So if it costs you $1,000 to get one client, that client just paid for 10 new clients at $2K a month. You want to save time because AI is the way. And that's actually what we ended up going into. So we started an AI agency, an AI powered marketing agency. We specialize specifically in the lead nurturing and the lead conversion side of things by building out AI chatbots. This, you can charge a lot of money for this. We got we had a 10K one-time sale for an AI build out. We had a 3K per month sort of service delivery model that we did for this. We had a done for you, done with you, do it yourself model. And actually the do it yourself model is where our GHU University training videos came into play because they had questions. Guess who they asked? Not me, the AI. And that worked out really, really well. Blake showed me a really, really cool example of his AI working. Wasn't it the AI self-serving or self-selling funnel page that you made, Blake?
Yeah, it's called AI Receptionist. And what it does is it kind of feeds or puts a lure out there to businesses who want to hear or see or set up to find out what a receptionist will sound like for their business. So what they do is they put their information in all the way down to their website. It reviews it, gathers information, and then creates an AI receptionist that calls you right back and asks like, who am I speaking with? And it'll say that. And from there, it takes them down the road as though put the client in the customer's position to ask questions about their business. And this is what the receptionist will answer with. When it's over, it will set up and schedule an appointment. And after the appointment, then it closes up the deal. So it gathers their information. Once it's over with, you get a text message that says, hey, how did you like the demo? Would you like to schedule an appointment and speak with somebody who can actually help you get this started within their business?
Yeah.
And then from there, that's when I come into play, and we discuss them getting set up with the AI receptionist and or AI employee, whatever we have going on.
It's a really, 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 really smart. There you go. So
Okay, there you go. Thank you.
no worries, no worries. If anyone wants to give the AI employee a good test run, this is a great lead magnet you can use. You can run traffic to it, or send it out to prospects over DM. In fact, I'm already working on the next training, and it's more about lead. Would you like the link? I'll put the link in the chat, if that's okay with you, Blake.
Go right ahead. Sure. And mind you, it's just a demo, people. It's not the actual thing. If you really want to talk to me, you do that with the text message that you get. Please, at the bottom, it'll say chat AI or voice AI. I suggest you type in voice AI. That way you'll get the phone call.
Really cool. Really, really, really cool. Really, like it's insane. It is insane what AI can do, and it is insane what you can charge, because if you can, as Maureen said, relate it to value, right? How much is a client worth to you? Okay, cool. Imagine how much is your time worth to you? Oh, $500. Okay, cool. If I can save you 10 hours, it's $5,000, right? Oh yeah, okay, cool. All of a sudden you start putting numbers on how much value this can actually provide, and people will soon realize every penny.
What I was told when I set this up was that the value is like this. How much would you pay an actual person to take calls and training necessary for them to understand and answer questions and have a conversation with you? Mind you, if you get a chance to listen to this, what blows my mind is the fact that it actually sounds like a real person with background noise, the whole nine. There is nothing short of it actually having a conversation. So when you are able to get that, how much would it cost you to hire a person to do all of this per month? And then when we give you the price and what we're charging, it's far less, and you're getting, how you say, you undersell, or you undersell, but you over deliver in the tail end of it.
Yep, exactly. And Blake, if you implement the Klarna and Afterpay strategy, you could,
Again?
If you implement the Afterpay or Klarna strategy, you get.
Oh yeah, I'm looking into it now. This is where I'm actually gonna put this into play, because I've actually had the experience going through that process. So I know what that's about.
Yeah. It's cruel, because you're ready to commit, but then you don't have the cash.
It actually puts the customer in the control booth of saying, this is what I can afford. This is what I'm committing to make the payment on. And it's almost like getting a loan in a sense. And when they do that, they are in control of how they want to pay, even though you set it up. And either way, you get your money up front. So now that I understand how that works, that's an awesome package right there.
No worries. I'm glad. Like, get paid, guys. It's hard out here. Every client is a dollar worth saving. There is no set price. I've worked with guys who sell courses for $10K, right? $10,000 for a course and a bit of coaching, and then I know clients who sell it for 50, 60. Is what people would pay for it, right? And it's the value that you perceive in relation to your competitors and what the market can afford. And these are the different pricing models that I've observed. Retainers, pay-per lead, pay-per-appointment, pay-per-show, revenue share, setup fee and results, and then a free trial or a paid trial. I have done retainer, pay-per-appointment, setup fees, free trials. I have not done revenue share models. I think that's a tough. Actually, no, I have. Take that back. I've just not done pay-per-show and pay-per-lead, because those are two interesting models that you can go about. Pros and cons. So pros, you get steady cash flow. Cons, if you don't deliver, your services get cut quite quickly. Who's had that happen? Where things seem to be going really well, and then all of a sudden the client says, "Hey, sorry, I'm canceling," or "Hey, sorry, I actually don't want to continue your services, even though it all seemed good. What happened? That happens, everyone? Yep, right? Because, and of course, we had our lovely mess bar lady in here. She paid thousands, or would be paying thousands of dollars for a retainer, right? But to her, it's not worth the risk of working with someone who might under-deliver on the results that they guarantee. So she's doing it herself, which is fair enough. Pay per lead, right? It is quite amazing. There's a third-party software called Apex. Veronica, we'll get you clients, girl. Next class will be about how to get appointments. But this one specifically, pay per lead. If you're struggling to get clients to say yes, you want to try and make it as valuable and as limited, like as there's limited risk. What do you call it? You know what I'm trying to say. Reduce the risk for your clients, right? In order for them to utilize your services. So if you have a pay per lead, the cost of ad spend, you cover the cost of GoHighLevel, of Apex, of AI, whatever, right? You do all of the creatives, you post the Facebook ads, and they just pay maybe an additional 20, 30, 40% on the cost of wood for the lead. What's the risk to them? Not much. Maybe they get some leads, and maybe they get some clients from it. Pretty good. Cons: lead quality. Who's had clients say the leads suck? Anyone? Yep, Candice. Leads suck. This is where you can come in and say, hey, I will do a pay per appointment. Your leads probably suck from other marketing agencies. Don't worry. We've been there. You just pay per appointment. Our AI, right, will do the lead nurturing. We'll follow up with every lead that opts in through our Facebook ad campaign. And if they don't set an appointment, you don't pay. Pretty cool, pretty good, pretty sexy offer. Limited risk reversal, a limited risk to them. And you can actually charge quite a larger upfront sum. So maybe between 2 to 5 to even 10K upfront, and then have them pay per appointment from there. Quite lucrative, but also not as compelling as the last one, which is the pay per show model. So not only is it, I will generate the leads, book the appointments in for you, and if they show, then you pay. I've tried this. Oh, I've almost tried this actually. I almost tried this, but it was so difficult to keep track of who actually showed up to the clinic or to the local business that we sort of decided not to go about this route. I wouldn't recommend it unless you had some, serious way to track clients' results. And then last but not least, only pay for results, a revenue share model. Clients pay only when they get a result. Who knows a guy named Alex Hormozy? I discuss him a lot in my course, yes. So Alex Hormozy, his original no-brainer offer was that he would fly out to gyms. He would do everything that I mentioned above, right? He would do all of this pay per lead, pay per appointment, pay per show. Not only that, he did pay per close. He would go into these gyms, do the ads, do the lead nurturing, do the sales, and then the actual gym would just take the recurring gym membership from there. He would do everything. And this was a crazy no-brainer offer. Imagine if I said to you, hey, David, I'll fly out there, right? I'll spend my money on hotels, right? I'll pay for the Facebook ads. I'll create it all for you, pay for the Facebook ads. I'll call up all the leads for you, book them in for calls with me. I will close them for you as well, right? And then, let's say your monthly service, right, $6,000 one time, and then the recurring is $500. I split the 6K with you, and then you keep the rest of the monthly recurring. How's that sound? Would you say yes to that?
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
That sounds amazing, right? Boom! Now imagine if you could do that for your clients. How many yeses do you think they'd say?
A skyrocket. I'll say like 9% would say yes.
Exactly. Although ideally you would want them to pay something up front, which is moving us on to the next point, which is setup fee plus results. So it's sort of the risk on both sides. They pay a little bit, of money to set up and start working with you, and then only once they see results, once they see revenue, do they pay you a percentage of that revenue. Could work. I've seen very successful agencies do this as well. Yeah, tough to track.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, free trials. It might sound really tempting, but it can lead to clients who have really no commitment to you or to the software, right? Without any sort of upfront financial stake, they're less likely to take you seriously, and your reputation may suffer, as will your results for them. right? Imagine that you sign a client and you're going to run ads for them, and it's a free trial for 2 weeks, but you need their Facebook ad account. You think they'll give it? No way. Not a chance. Not a chance, right? So clients are more likely to value your work if there's a clear exchange of value. So opting for a pay-per-result structure is a much better route, right? If you must offer a trial, make sure it's paid. This shows some form of commitment. It sets the tone for future collaboration. Your time, all of our times, there's a dollar amount ascribed to it. Please get paid what you're worth.
I have a question with that. How about, well, I've seen it work with school where you put your credit card information in for the free trial, which means as soon as it's over, more than likely, sometimes the client forgets how long that trial had lasted and it kind of kicks in and then you're already underway.
Correct.
So like if you do like a 7-day free trial, by the time the week is over, mind you still got to set all this up for them. And it doesn't mean that you have to make expeditiously and make it real quickly done, but in the process of getting it together, because if you leave some things in their court, they'll take some time before they give it to you.
Oh yeah.
You'll know in those 7 days, if they don't get it to you within a 7-day period, it's like this, either they know enough to cut it off or, or get churned themselves out, or they turn around and they forget and you already got paid, at least for that month.
Literally. This is more.
It's happened to me, so I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. This is more like, because with school, it's very much SaaS, but it's like do-it-yourself SaaS model. Especially when you're starting out, even if you're offering low-ticket SaaS, it's kind of just you and the client. Not because school's got a whole back-end team. They've got a huge marketing team as well. They got Alex and Rosie promoting it. At the start, when I got my first client, it was just me and the client, right? And I did. I did a free trial, but it transitioned more into a paid trial at the start, right? Because initially it was hey, we'll do a pay per appointment, right? You pay for an appointment, etc. You only pay when we get the results, essentially. However, it transitioned.
If I missed it, what would you pay for an appointment? How much would you pay for or charge somebody for an appointment?
$100.
Yeah, between 50 to 100, around that. 50 to 100. Depends on it's a percentage of the lifetime value of a client that you get. So you break it down from there. Like, how much is a client worth to you? Okay, cool. They come in for a $100 treatment. How many times do they come in for a $100 treatment? Oh, 10 times. Cool. So that client's worth $1,000 to you. What if we just do 10%? Oh yeah, that sounds reasonable. Or like, oh, what if we just do 5% or 2%? You can negotiate with the client. If you had a plastic surgeon client who said, yeah, my client's like 50 grand. Okay, $500 a point. How's that sound? Oh yeah, it sounds great. So there's room and wiggle room to play, and that's why selecting your niche is also super important. One golden rule to remember, right? Never, ever work with a client without securing a financial commitment upfront. Never. Even if it's a small deposit or a retainer. Getting some form of payment ensures that both you and the client are committed to the process, right? There'll be an onboarding. That will be a bit annoying, right? There'll be a setup period. There'll be a period where they don't see any results. Hell, if it's a SaaS and they don't even show up to their onboarding, they're never going to hear from you again, right? Record them signing the contract, or at least record you going through the terms of services with them so that they're aware of what they're expecting, right? Because, like, for instance, if you go through a free trial and they get onto the onboarding call, that's almost your sales call. That's pretty much a sales call. They've committed, but we've had times where we get a client on an onboarding call and they're like, cool, what did I sign up for again? What do you do? What is this?
And you go back and you go through and explain it. This is what you get, and this is the terms and the conditions to which whatever. So again, it's not a contract. It's just this is an agreement, because they can cancel at any time.
Yep.
And instead of guarantees, you just do a warranty, which means I'm going to work with you till we get this to work right, because that's what you're trying to do is create results.
Yes, exactly. And then my last gift is, we call it the mistake new businesses make, or the beginning pricing curse, right? If you're new, it's really easy to fall into this trap of wanting to charge large retainers or hefty setup fees right away. But the hard truth is, you can't charge premium prices when you're still learning. I would suggest not to. I've done it before. Clients would just charge back and ask for a refund. if you're unable to deliver the results that you say you can, right? So when people ask me what's the best price to charge, especially what we discussed today, the best price to charge is the one that you have the most conviction in selling. The best price to charge is the one you have the most conviction in selling. If you don't believe in the price, you won't sell it. There's no way. So start with the price you feel comfortable with, gain experience, gradually increase your rates and build your reputation and start delivering real value, right? I see it as like hey, once you get 5 reviews, cool, increase the price. Once you get 10 reviews, okay, increase the price a bit. Once you get 50 reviews, okay, then now we can increase the price a bit, right? That's how I see it. Is there a template for deposit agreements? Thank you so much for all of that, guys. It's been a pleasure to host these meetings. I mean, we're hitting like 20 people plus. Woo!